world's conscious broadcasting network. Live on iTunes and archived on iHeartRadio. The voice of consciousness. And now, join Shay Parker's Best of the Best, offering celebrity guests, lively discussions, hot topics, free psychic readings, and expert guest hosts. Simply the best in spiritual and metaphysical talk radio. Listen live on your phone or device using our universal mobile player. No app needed. Shay Parker's Best of the Best. Find out more at bestamericanpsychics.com.
Night. It's the Rock Girl here. I have a really special evening planned tonight. I'm bringing my colleague and friend, Jill M. Jackson, international psychic medium, onto the show tonight to talk about our upcoming Mystic and Medium tour. Jill, are you with us?
I am. Hi, Allison. How are you?
Good. Yay!
Yay.
You're there. I was like groping around in the ethers because we all know that I'm good at the metaphysics, but the computer's not so much yet. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I know that you're very, very busy, and we're going to talk about the Mystic and the Medium tonight, and we're also going to talk about you. So just to welcome, I know we have a lot of listeners tonight. A lot of people have been Facebooking me and saying they're tuning in, and I want to give a big shout out to a friend of mine and spiritual family member who's out in North Carolina. And I don't want to out her on the radio, but I know she's listening, and thank you for tuning in. And I just want to give out our websites. Mine is therockgirl.com as well as sacredstoneschool.com. Sacredstoneschool.com is my school, and therockgirl.com is my regular website. Hopefully it is in the process of getting a facelift. So in the next couple of weeks, if you go onto it, it might look a little bit different. We also want to tell everybody to cruise on over to Mystic, and it's spelled A-N-D. We're going to spell the word out, medium.com, to check out our upcoming events. And Jill, I'll let you introduce you and yourself since you know more about you than me.
Absolutely. You can find me at JillMJackson.com. We have been so focused on the Mystic and the Medium, I lost
I know
for a minute. Yes, and I'm so excited. We leave for our Florida tour in a couple of days, but I am a psychic medium, and I'm also with Best American Psychics, and you can find me at bestamericanpsychics.com or on my Facebook page, Psychic Jill M. Jackson.
Yay, you're so good about that. Yeah. I'm on Best American Psychics too. Yeah. And also, my Facebook page is it's the Rock Girl sacredstoneschool.com. Thanks, Jill, for reminding me.
Welcome.
And also, both of us, I mean, we really never mention this, but we should, we're spotlight psychics on Best American Psychics. And really, that means that we're featured on the right side of the page, and we have lots of groovy videos, and we do lots of things as a spotlight psychic. So please find us there as well. And you know, also, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something, Jill, and I forgot. I don't know. I guess I'll remember it. I just want to let everybody know that my style of radio show is kind of ricochet. I'm not nearly as eloquent and put together as Jill. That's why I like hanging out with her. I'm hoping some of your polish will rub off on me. And so I'm just going to premise everybody that this radio show is at the Rock Girl Unleashed. It's my show, the first of every month on Best of the Best, which is Shay Parker's radio network. And Jill, why don't you tell everybody about your show, because you have a show on Best of the Best as well.
Absolutely. My show is the third Tuesday of each month, and I interview other psychics, mediums, astrologers, spiritual teachers, and I have a really exciting guest coming up on my show for April. I'm going to be interviewing international psychic medium Hans Christian King, and I'm really super excited about that interview.
Oh, wow. I am too. I'm going to listen in. Can you tell everybody a little bit about Hans? I know we have a lot of listeners in here, and so I want people to make note of Jill's show. And your next show, what is it? Oh, it is April, isn't it? Yeah. So
Yes.
basically in 2 more Tuesdays. Do you know the exact date of that show?
No, but I can tell you in 2 seconds. It's the third Tuesday. Is that the 19th? Let's see. Sorry, I should know this. Yes, the 19th, April 19th.
Okay, so it's April 19th. And what is the name? I know the name of your show, but can you tell the listeners what the name of your radio show is on Best of the Best Network?
Yes, it's Best of the Best, Connects Soul to Soul.
Okay, with Jill M. Jackson. So you can find it by going on the OMTimes radio. That's another way to find us. And also on Best of the Best on Shay Parker's directory, as well as on your individual website and, of course, Mystic and Medium. So there's a lot of ways, people, if you forget and can't get in touch, just, you can Google Jill M. Jackson. You can Google Shay Parker's directory. You can Google OMTimes radio, all of that, and still get to the show on time. But actually, the best way to keep up with a lot of our events is to join the Facebook page, because I know that on the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School page, I post daily posts. So if you ever get lost or forget something, just tune into that show, or actually into the page, and you can click on the links that bring you to the show. And I know, Jill, you post on yours as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And we also have a newsletter on the Mystic and the Medium site. So that's another great way for people to find out about our tours.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm just going to let the listeners know today that we are supposed to go to commercial break at 8:15, 8:30, and 8:45. And I do apologize ahead of time if it's a little bumpy, because I'm not really good at this, even though I've been trying very diligently to have the commercial breaks fade in and fade out. If you hear the music, know that I'm supposed to wrap it up and go to commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll finish talking what we're talking about. So I'm letting people know that it may not be that graceful out there, especially if you're listening to this in archive, and I'm well aware of it and I'm working on it. So thank you for giving me some elbow room and some grace there with that. I'm working on it. Okay, so Jill, what we're going to do, we have 5 minutes till we go to our first commercial break. I know I was on your show, I think it was 2 Tuesdays ago, and we talked about this, and I got a lot of really good feedback. And what I did was I posted that show on my Facebook page, and then people had some questions, and we're going to start getting into them after 8:15. But can you tell the listeners out there, just give them a brief synopsis of what Mystic and Medium is?
Yes, absolutely. Well, for those of you that are not aware of what a gallery is an opportunity for you to go to an event, and it's usually in a theater-style room, and you can see a medium. Most of the time it's a medium, and delivering messages to the audience. And most of the time it's an indirect message, which means the loved one from the other side comes in first, and then the medium gives the information to the audience, and whoever in the audience that knows that this is for them, they'll raise their hand and they get a message. And so we talked about, Allison and I talked about teaming up and doing an event together. And Allison is probably one of the best psychics I've ever known, and she's an amazing medium as well. But her love is the psychic messages. And so we talked about sort of coming together and giving the audience something that they have not experienced before, which is receiving both psychic and mediumship messages within the same event at the same evening. And Allison and I take turns delivering the messages, and she delivers the psychic messages, which is about love, relationship, life purpose, career, money, things like that. And then I deliver the mediumship messages, which are coming from loved ones on the other side. And our energy, when Allison and I, the first time we worked together, Allison, it was just amazing. And we've talked about this. We've talked about it privately, and we've talked about it on our respective shows about how we really support each other with an energy that helps each of us. It's magical. It's the best way that I can describe it. And the energy in the room, people can feel it while they're at the event, and they can feel it for days and even weeks afterwards. And so we love that about it, that it's a very healing type experience. And so even for the people that don't receive a message personally that evening, they do receive the benefit of feeling the energy of the room and receiving energy from the messages as well. And it's many times entertaining. There's tears, there's laughter, there's questions and answers at the end. We leave time at the end of the evening for people that have questions for us, and that's always enlightening, and we love that as well. So we're excited about joining together and doing this.
Yeah. Wow, that was so eloquently said. That was great. That would have taken me a half an hour to deliver. So yeah, that is really awesome. And our next break is coming up. I think we have a minute. When the music starts, we'll fade out. And so if I cut you guys short, please understand. However, I really, the only thing I want to kind of add to that is that, it's also incredibly fun. And Jill and I, we're both living in Asheville, North Carolina. However, we both travel extensively, and we're going to be talking about the venues that we're doing. We're actually going to Florida. We're leaving in 2 days. But, it's also really fun. Oh my gosh, I've never laughed so hard in my life sometimes. And it's really like it's an event. We call this an event, but it's really kind of a party as well, a celebration of life, of people here on the earthly plane, and also for those on the other side. And I think part of the magic, Jill, is that, the frequency of the room raises so much, but we're also blending the energy of those on the earthly plane with also the people that you're bringing through from the other side. Oh, there's the music.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Matt Connerton here. Join Jen Coffey and I twice a week for Matt Connerton Unleashed, a political talk show that's a little different than what you're used to. No liberal or conservative agenda here, just an honest dialogue about truth and how things really work in the world of politics. Matt Connerton Unleashed, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
I just wish I could say I love you one more time. I just wish I could really know if they are okay. I just wish I could let them know how much I miss them. If you have ever had any of these thoughts or others about communicating with departed loved ones, it is important for you to know that it is absolutely possible. Michelle Beltran is a globally recognized professional psychic medium who is known for giving evidential messages from beyond the event horizon. Visit michellebeltran.com for details. That's MICHELLEBELTRAN.com.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
You're listening to OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
The music has dimmed, and I do believe we're back. Thank Thank you so much, people, for joining us tonight. It's Allison Hayes, the Rock Girl, here on the Rock Girl Unleashed, empowering the wild within. I have my very special guest, Jill M. Jackson, international psychic medium fabuloso, with me tonight. And first of all, I must protest. It was not fair. The music didn't give me a good cue and I got cut off. So I'm just going to recap what Jill and I were talking about before the break, that indeed Jill's description of what goes on at this Mystic and Medium event is truly magical, and it's been such an honor to see the ingredients and the alchemy grow and on and in, along with the people. I mean, I'm doing the psychic messages, delivering the messages to the people on the earthly plane, and Jill is bringing through those from the other side and connecting them in a very loving space and blending those energies in with the people who are there, connecting to their loved ones. It's quite something to see, and I'll elaborate on that in just a minute, because I do have a first row seat to that. And part of the magic that I was talking about before we went to break is that not only are there the people in the room on the earthly plane, but with those coming in from the other side, the alchemy, the energy of mixing those energies and reconnecting people to their loved ones, it's really intoxicating, exhilarating, and it's really quite thrilling to watch. And every time it happens, and a light bulb goes off and a heart is healed, it's just a thrilling experience. So even though if you're not getting a particular message, just to be in a room to watch that awesome energy is mind-blowing. Now, remember, Jill, that movie, I think it was a Christmas one. I forget the guy who was in it. Shame on me. But A Wonderful Life. Who was in that? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, I am so awful at knowing who's in movies.
Okay.
This is not my thing.
I would try and Google it right now if I was sure I wasn't going to cut us off. Skype. However, it's A Wonderful Life, and every time an angel got its wings, you'd hear this little ding, right?
Yeah.
It was really a great Christmas movie, and it's still on there every year. And every time that Jill brings someone in from the other side, or when I am able to help someone connect to their spirit guide, it's almost you hear this little ding and a heart is healed. And so I hear a lot of things. That's a good blessing and a curse. But a lot of times when I see someone that Jill brings through connect to someone on this side, I hear that frequency, and it's the sound of a heart being healed. And it actually, I'm not much of a crier. I'm actually a really ugly crier. You know how some people weep and they're very pretty and they take their little tissue? You know how I Love Lucy used to cry, like, rah!
Yes. Is that you, Allison?
Yes, it's so ungracious. And that's why I usually do it in private. It's not pretty. But I've been working on my weeping. And so when you bring someone through and there is that connection, I do have the hometown advantage of being able to see the person, on the earthly plane, but also the energy that you bring in. And it does bring quite a tear to my eye.
Oh, that's
yeah. So
beautiful.
What I like to do is I like to call it a celebration of spirit here on the earthly plane and on the other side, because there's so much love in that room and so much excitement, so much healing, and so much anticipation for all of the good things that come next. And so, I can't, Jill, that I've been hesitant to kind of do these kind of galleries for quite some time because, it's not, I used to say it wasn't really my thing. And I have to say that you put, kind of propose the idea in such a way that I couldn't resist it. And then once I finally got out there, I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is really cool.
Yeah. And what's great about it is we have the opportunity to touch so many more people than we're able to one-on-one. I mean, we both, of course, do many, many one-on-one sessions each week, but with these events, we can touch a lot of different people at one time, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what's interesting is that we did our first gallery together, I believe, over a year ago in January, and it was freezing cold. We laugh about it now, but it wasn't that funny at the time. And, we saw a lot of faces then, and then we did another one, I believe it was last September in Asheville, and there were a lot of the same people coming back because they enjoyed the first one so much that it did, it actually really did, encourage us to do the next one. Now, there is a dinging on here because somebody's Facebooking me. And so I'm trying to turn it off and I can't. So whoever's Facebooking me and you're listening to the show, I can't help you right now. Sorry. So I'm just going to call a spade. I turned off all of the computer stuff and I still hear the stinging. So I do apologize. So through the inspiration, and I have to say, working together is definitely inspiring, but it's also connecting to the audience. I mean, it's really the audience members that kind of encourage us to go on. And I want to thank everybody in the audience, past, present, and future, for being our inspiration.
Yes, absolutely. It's why we keep doing what we do. Yes,
yeah. And so, if for people who are just tuning in right now, if you can cruise on over to mysticandmedium.com, you'll be able to see our page there and all of the events. And so what we're going to do after the second break at 8:30 is we're going to go through the events. We're going to kind of walk you through our Florida tour. But first, I want to learn more about Jill. Who is Jill M. Jackson?
Wow.
And you can start wherever you want.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I am a natural born medium. I was able to see spirits as a child, and looking back, I just thought everybody could see spirits. They were always in my house, and sometimes the house would fill up so much, and I had no idea who they were. I wasn't able to really hear a lot back then. I just saw them. I'm very clairvoyant, which means you can see. And so I could see them with my naked physical eye, and I could see them in my third eye. And I would hear the sounds, but they really didn't talk to me a lot. So I was confused, and I would sit outside by myself, kind of trying to get away from it. And then when I was 12 years old, my grandmother, who I was very close to, passed away. And a couple of nights later, I woke up and she was floating above my bed, and I could finally hear the other side. And she was absolutely beautiful, and she just told me that she came back to let me know that she was on the other side and that she was not sick any longer, and that she was perfectly fine, and that she would come visit from time to time, which she did a few more times during that week. And so I went on having the mediumistic experiences, but I also had a normal kind of life too, Allison. I've always been very balanced with left brain and right brain. And so I went on to college, and I became a money manager, a CPA, and I owned my own firm out in Los Angeles, California for years. I had a lot of celebrity clients. And so I started getting sick probably about 8 or 9, 10 years ago, and realized that I was not on the path that I was supposed to be on, sort of my life purpose of what I agreed to do during this incarnation. And so I started reawakening those psychic abilities, mediumistic abilities that really never went away, but I really started focusing on them. And so I guess the rest is history. I did study with some of the great mediums out there, Hans Christian King, Alfred Ricci, John Holland, Mavis Patilla, Lisa Williams. And I felt, and I've gone over to Arthur Findlay College and studied with amazing mediums there. And I feel like that it helped bring it all together in sort of the package that I work with now.
Oh, well, that's yeah, well, I can attest to that. Yeah, I've actually stood next to you and watched you do this, and yeah, that's amazing. Now, there's some interesting things that you said there You started getting sick about 10 years ago. It's so weird because so did I. I had a thyroid problem. I had mercury poisoning. And it's kind of interesting because you and I live like on parallel energies because we're almost exactly the same age. We won't talk about that. How old we're not, right? Exactly.
How young we are.
Yeah. We both got divorced around the same time. We both started to do a lot of this, re-entering this world. I too, as a child, had a strong connection to Mother Earth and Spirit, and I really saw spirit guides like you saw people, dead people, those who passed over. And then I too put it away and got married and went on into the film business and all sorts of things. And I began to become ill too. And I went to all these doctors and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then I re-entered this world. So it's interesting because we're like a double line on the highway, right? We're like parallel.
Definitely soul sisters with a lot of the same parallels. It's fascinating.
Yeah. And it's it works in some very, in an unseen energetic way. And we're going to have to go to break in about 2 minutes. However, it's interesting. Can you tell us more about, a lot of children, when they see spirits or people who passed over when they're younger, were scared. Now, you didn't say anything about being scared. Were you scared?
I was scared. I was scared up until the point that my grandmother showed herself and came to visit me to tell me that she was okay. But prior to that, I didn't know who all these people were that were hanging out in my home. And yes, that's why I would sit outside, after school waiting for my parents to come home, is because my house was very full, but, I was the only one there, and sometimes my sister and I. So no, I did have a lot of fear.
Wow. Now, does your sister have this gift as well?
No, she does not have the gift. No.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it ran in the family. Yeah.
Well, my mother is a medium, not a working medium, and she claims that she's not, yet she sees and talks to dead people. So I tell her that that's labeled a medium. And then my father is very, very, very intuitive. So I get it from both parents.
Wow. Aren't you? Yeah, you're blessed. Absolutely. Okay, well, there's the music, folks. We're going to break. Be right back.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Healing Light, on OMTimes Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Healing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
I just wish I could say I love you one more time. I just wish I could really know if they are okay. I just wish I could let them know how much I miss them. If you have ever had any of these thoughts or others about communicating with departed loved ones, it is important for you to know that it is absolutely possible. Michelle Beltran is a globally recognized professional psychic medium who is known for giving evidential messages from beyond the event horizon. Visit michellebeltran.com for details. That's MICHELLEBELTRAN.com.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Alaya, in the circle on Sunday 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Yay! We are back. It's the Rock Girl here on the Rock Girl Unleashed, empowering your wild within. And we have the fabulous Jill M. Jackson, international psychic medium, with us tonight. And we are talking about our upcoming tour, Mystic and Medium in Florida. And we leave in 2 days. Go to mysticandmedium.com, and we are going to talk about what we'll be doing in the next week. And we really do hope that you join us, because it's going to be a lot of fun-filled, it's actually a fun-filled week, really. We're actually going to Naples, Florida. And Jill, why don't you explain to people what I've been at? A lot of people have been Facebooking me on my Sacred Stone School page and saying, well, what exactly are you doing? And so not only is this a gallery on Friday night, but we're teaching workshops and we're doing lectures and psychic readings. So it's kind of like an extended kind of seminar and an event. And if you can't make one thing, you can make another, or maybe you can make one thing and then make others as well. And so can you fill in, people out there listening and to what we're doing, where we'll be, and how to get in touch with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first event is this Friday evening, and it's at the Unity of Naples, which is a non-denominational spiritualist type church. And that starts at 7 and it goes till 9:30. And I was actually there doing an event myself, a gallery last, I think, September or November, and we had an amazing group of people. So I'm so excited to be coming back, and I'm even more excited that you will be with me this time, Allison, so that we can see what kind of new energy we bring to this event. And we do have some tickets, a few tickets still available for the Friday night gallery. You can go to mysticandmedium.com. There's a link there to go ahead and purchase your tickets and reserve your seats. And then on Saturday, I am teaching my psychic development class level 1. And that's a really fun class. And I know Allison and I, we've talked about sort of doing some new things around that going forward, because we both teach psychic development, but we have a different kind of flair and information that we bring to it. So I'm excited for that in the future. And then I believe on Saturday evening, you have a workshop as well, correct?
Yeah. It's a 90-minute lecture, actually. It's called Empowering the Goddess Within. And it's actually a lecture, but it's more interactive, and it's really fun. We talk about goddess energy, and then I'm going to bring a little sample set of stones, and people get to choose the stones. And I mean, for people who are tuning in who don't know me, I do psychic readings and I use rocks. And so I actually put together this new set of rocks just for this event. And there's over 50 rocks to choose from. And you get to choose the rocks and see them turn colors and all sorts of fun stuff. And so I put together a little kit for the goddess lecture, and people will get to choose those and bring through different goddesses, and we get channeled messages. And then I teach people how to connect to that goddess and how to channel that energy, which means bring the energy through them instead of reaching out to kind of look for them in the ethers. And so not only will you learn stuff, but you'll actually experience running that energy through you, and it's actually a lot of fun. But it's a short one-hit wonder. It's Saturday night, I believe, from 7. It's from 7 to 9, but it's really a 90-minute lecture, and then there's a half an hour of questions at the end. So that's Saturday night. Yes, and I think it's $33 if you register now, and $44, I think, at the door. Yes,
and I have to say I've been able to experience something sort of like this that you've done in the past, Allison, where we were able to go to your Sacred Stone School and channel the energy from the skulls. And I just have to say, for those of you out there that live in or around the Naples area, do not miss this opportunity, because watching Allison work with the stones and seeing the stones change their colors and their frequency and being able to receive your own intuitive messages, it's mind-blowing, and it's really a fascinating evening. So be sure to check that out. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we had fun with the crystal skulls. Yeah. And the stones are fun too. And the beauty is that there's a few simple secret recipes that I teach people where they can learn to connect themselves, and it's not difficult at all. It's like you have to learn how to put the key in the ignition of the car to turn it on, and so it doesn't have to be complicated. So thank you for that. You're welcome. And then On Sunday, I am teaching an Introduction to Mediumship workshop. It's a 4-hour workshop, and that's a really interesting and exciting class as well. People really have a lot of fun with that one, and there's a few seats left on that workshop as well. And then Sunday night, we are having a lecture on psychic kids and what to do with the new energy if you either have a child yourself that is gifted or if you know someone that has a gifted child. This would be a really interesting lecture to attend. So we're excited about that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's an interesting thing because there's really no books out there about what parents do if they suspect they have a psychic child. What we'll cover is, how to pick that up. Are they talking to their imagination, or are these, spirits coming through? And so it's a really good, I think that's a 2-hour, is that a 90-minute or a 2-hour lecture, Jill?
Good question. I believe that is it's an hour and a half, and then I believe we left 30 minutes for questions.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is go over, even if you don't have a psychic child, come to this lecture, because what if you know someone who does? At least you can help them. There's not a lot of information or education out there. And I know I was a psychic kid, and I know that you were a psychic kid. And so it's really important to kind of integrate that as more and more children are being born as sensitives. So, it's another kind of very short but information-packed, evening. And so if you have the time, do stop by, because you never know when you'll need that information.
Well, this is passionate for me, Allison, because I'm sure you witnessed this as well with your readings. I have so many clients that will tell me that their child was labeled with autism or with bipolar or with emotional imbalances. And I'm not saying that these are not very real experiences, but many, many times during the reading, I am told that this kid was just sensitive and no one really knew what to do with them. So many times they're drugged and put on pharmaceuticals that really, really starts interfering with their DNA structure. And so again, I'm not saying that, those drugs, I guess, aren't needed all the time, but I'm just saying that many, many times I feel like that it's kind of like a quick fix to when there's other avenues available. So this is one of my passions.
Yeah, absolutely. And if a child has autism or ADD or ADHD, the parent has to also learn a new way of communicating. And by developing some of the psychic sensitivities in themselves, it will actually allow them to build their toolbox on how to connect to a child who perhaps cannot speak properly or, keep up with the rest of the class. Perhaps they'll communicate telepathically. And there's all of these clairs, the clairvoyant, clairaudient, these extra sensory, abilities that the parent can help to develop to communicate with their child. So I have personally witnessed a lot of more precise and detailed and intimate communication evolved through this process, because on one of my radio shows, I am going to have a fine man, Dr. Andrew McCabe. He does a lot of work with autism, and we have discussed this in great detail, and it's actually one of his passions as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that is Sunday night, Psychic Kids. And I had a question about your mediumship class. Do people have to take the psychic class the day before to get into that class?
No, they're two separate classes. The psychic development is completely different. We talk about animal totems. We talk about some of the clairs. I talk about the archangels. We talk about raising your vibration, your soul purpose. We talk about fears. We talk about meditations. We work with the pendulum. There's a lot of information that we work with in my level 1 psychic development class. The intro to mediumship class is completely different. It's working with a different kind of energy, and there's a different little toolbox that that I teach to start connecting to the other side, and we do practice exercises in both.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And now the mediumship class on Sunday is only 4 hours or 3 hours, because I know the psychic development is on Saturday, and that's an 8-hour class. Is that correct, or is how
That's
long
correct.
Is that? Okay.
Yeah, it's 9 hours, but we have an hour break for lunch, and it's a lot of information that's packed in that 9-hour day. And then the intro to mediumship is a 4-hour workshop.
Okay. Yeah. And I strongly suggest for anybody who is in the Naples area or even the Florida area, get in the car and drive, because it's so worth it. Because I know, Jill, your schedule is filling up very quickly. So your availability to teach both of these classes back to back is going to be limited. After the break, we're going to talk about our Mystic and Medium tour here in Asheville and what we're going to offer. But if you are, in any of that area, my God, I've driven 8 hours for a class. Okay. Yeah. So even if you're anywhere, I know Mississippi is down there, Alabama. It's worth the drive to get both of those classes back to back. And I like to call them immersions or intensives. I find that I actually learn more in kind of having back-to-back classes like that, because I'm already starting to process the information, and it links together.
Yes. So. That's absolutely correct. And then we're also doing private readings Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yes. So I'm doing a half a day, and then you're doing half a day. And what everyone can do is just go to mysticandmedium.com, and you'll see all of those links up on the website, and you can just click on them. And to book a reading with Jill, you email Jill, and to book a reading with me, you just email me. All of the information is there. And these are, say you come to the gallery and you have a question, and, you feel like you need more answers. The private reading is a perfect opportunity for that. And especially, Jill, I'm just doing the psychic readings, but you're doing a psychic and medium combo. Oh, gosh, here comes the commercial. We'll revisit this when we get back. Don't go away, folks.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
I just wish I could say I love you one more time. I just wish I could really know if they are okay. I just wish I could let them know how much I miss them. If you have ever had any of these thoughts or others about communicating with departed loved ones, it is important for you to know that it is absolutely possible. Michelle Beltran is a globally recognized professional psychic medium who is known for giving evidential messages from beyond the event horizon. Visit michellebeltran.com for details. That's MICHELLEBELTRAN.com.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
No, the name is Joe. The Joe Show. And we are returning back for our 9th season here on OMTimes Radio. So tune in every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on OMTimes.com/mobile. You can take us wherever you go. Yeah!
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Yay, we're back. I think the music is gone, although I do like that intro music or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I get listening and then I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to talk. But that is cool music. Okay, so you have the rock girl here and the fabulous international psychic medium Jill M. Jackson. And we were just talking about our Florida tour, and we're talking about the in-person readings that we're doing next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Naples. All of the information is on our website, so just go to mysticandmedium.com and you'll find out where the workshops are, and you'll find out where the readings are and how to book them accordingly. But we were in mid-sentence when the music came, and we were talking about Jill does the psychic reading. You tell them about your readings, because I know you offer psychic readings, mediumship readings, and then also the combo, which sounds really cool.
Yes, the psychic readings, the person can choose either a 30-minute reading or a 45-minute reading. And then I have a 45-minute mediumship-only reading. And then I have a 1-hour reading option, which combines the psychic and the mediumship together. So you get a little bit of each in the 1-hour session.
Yeah. Now, how does that happen? Like, do you automatically say, okay, it's like halfway through, let's change? Like, can you tell people like what it's like, or just give us an example of one of your sessions?
Yeah, when I first connect with the client, I just ask them if they're wanting a little bit of both, if they want it to be equal. Some people want an hour, and so they care more about the mediumship or they care more about the psychic. But I usually just let spirit kind of dictate the energy of the session and how it goes. I like to tune in the beginning and bring any loved ones forward that want to come forward with messages. And then usually some of the psychic will start coming in throughout the reading anyway, but I kind of leave a little bit of time at the end if they want to connect to their spirit guides and receive psychic guidance, because our loved ones on the other side will give us their opinion. But it's a whole different, as you know, Allison, it's a different answer many times than you're going to get from the spirit guides.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother is still telling me to put my money under the mattress, you know?
Exactly.
And the spirit guides are like, buy property, buy property, buy property. Right. So, yeah. So when you have those two different energies, can you explain to the listeners, like, how you can tell the difference?
Yes. The way I can tell the difference, I know in my physical body when a loved one is present. I feel it in my heart chakra, which is in my chest area. And so I start feeling the energy that way. And a lot of times I will see the person, so I know that they're stepping forward that way. And then I like to take maybe a minute or two to further blend with their energy, because when you are a loved one on the other side and you are communicating with a medium, it's not an easy task for our loved ones either. It's not an easy task for the medium. And so they have to lower their vibration. The medium has to raise their vibration, and we kind of meet in the middle. It's like a radio channel. And so you want to get that perfect frequency, and it's beautiful when that happens. And so that's how I do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's really great. And so if someone's having a reading with you, you can explain to them that you're shifting gears, which is actually a really cool thing to watch. And so I would say anybody out there, book it just so you could see the changing of the gears. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. And, it's interesting. I mean, that's where the name medium comes from, because you meet, it's in the middle, really, which is really cool. And you're basically in the middle, and you're delivering mediumistic messages, but you're halfway up and halfway down. So it is quite a balancing act.
Well, but that's what's so cool about the galleries that we're doing together, Allison, because the audience members can witness both frequencies of energy, from the psychic and the mediumship both. And it's really, really, it's a beautiful dance to watch.
Yeah. And they actually will not only be able to watch it, but a lot of people ended up in our last gallery connecting to the energy and not even realizing they're doing that. But they did leave with a very euphoric and kind of exhilarated energy. And I know that I got a lot of feedback, and I'm sure you did too, about how great they felt for days afterwards. And they were wondering what happened. And that is really what prompted us to go on and do the workshops, because people wanted to learn more about the process, which is really exciting.
I love being a spiritual teacher, as I know you do as well, Allison. And people are really hungry for information. They want to continue experiencing this energy. And so that's what I'm so excited. Do we have time to talk about our events coming up in Asheville?
Yes, we do. It's only 8:52 and we have 5 minutes. So yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so excited about our events in Asheville for so many reasons. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Om Sanctuary and how we both felt when we felt the energy there? And
oh yeah, absolutely. First of all, Jill and I both live in Asheville. We don't live together. Oh, okay. Someone asked me that. I'm like, no, Asheville's a small town, but not that small. So I had to laugh. But yeah, we both live in Asheville, and Asheville's really cool. And it's a great destination place. I mean, I'm originally from New York, and I have the Rock Room up there, and coming down here was a little bit of a question mark, but it's a destination place. And so not only do people come from Asheville, but the surrounding area. And we were looking for a place to just have a really, we wanted a sanctuary. We wanted a sacred place, and we came upon the Om Sanctuary, which it's exactly what it is. And it provides a venue, a platform for the gallery, the workshops, and the psychic and mediumistic readings. And so in Florida, we have the gallery at the church, and then the readings and the workshop somewhere else. But this is one-stop shopping. So Jill, I'll let you kind of take over and give your description of what we came upon when we went to look at it.
Yes, it's beautiful. I believe it's 47 acres, something like that. And there's a beautiful walking trail. There's a labyrinth. There is yoga and different classes like that. So we really, really encourage people that are coming to this experience with us to stay there at the Om Sanctuary, because you'll be there in that energy all the time, and it's convenient. They serve you 3 delicious healthy meals a day, and it's just we're excited about it. It's going to be our first one coming up June 3rd. So it's June 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And so this first one is about a 4-day immersion event, and then we have another one in October where we will actually take some of the classes and workshops that we begin in June and continue teaching on a different level in October.
Absolutely. And so for anybody who's interested, we are going to be doing the Mystic and Medium events in Asheville twice a year. This year it's in June and October. Next year we're already booked for May and October, 2 of the most beautiful times a year. We were able to secure those dates. And what we're doing is we want to invite you to come to our hometown to heal, to rejoice, to celebrate, the earthly plane as well as the heavenly plane, but also to learn. We're going to be doing level 1 workshops in June of this year, and then we'll be offering level 2 in the fall as well. So do start now. It's worth the investment. Make the investment in yourself. And so you can come, you can check into the hotel, all of the food is provided. The setting is just magnificent, and they have a waterfall there, and it's just a great way to come and heal and cleanse, awaken, activate, and actualize a lot of what you want to really manifest in your life. And you can do it in 4 days. So we're kind of balancing it into a well-spaced out environment. You have me, and I'm kind of the earthly person over here. And then you also have Jill, who is on the heavenly plane. Can't you just tell that by her fabulous voice? I wish I had a voice like that. And we can mentor you, we can teach you, we can deliver the messages, we can answer your questions, we can laugh with you. And the transformation that it can occur from when you set foot in that place to when you leave can actually be incredibly metamorphic. And we don't have our testimonials yet up on our website, but they are coming. And it's definitely, and again, we were so lucky, Jill and I both know this, to secure the dates not only for this year and next year at 2 of the most beautiful times of the year here in Asheville. And we do invite you to come join us. So
yes, and if you, we're still finalizing what we're going to be teaching. We're kind of fine-tuning that. So the best thing to do is make sure that you get on our newsletter list, which you can do that on the home page. Just sign up for the newsletter. We will not bombard you. It will be once a month at the most, once every couple of months to let you know when and where our next events are going to be. Or you can also email, and the email address is info@mysticandmedium.com, and one of our assistants will get back with any questions and answer any questions and let you know what we will be teaching for the June event.
Yeah, and we'll have those up on our website very soon, very, very soon. Yes. So it looks like it's 8:58, which means we're going to have to wrap it up and say good evening to all our fabulous listeners. But, do please, if you're in the Florida area or surrounding area, do join us next week. And we'll see you in Asheville in June. All right, folks, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for Shay Parker's Best of the Best. Be sure to tune in next week for more lively discussion topics. Have a great week, and don't forget to check out bestamericanpsychics.com in case you need some professional, ethical, and accurate psychic advice from the nation's best psychics. Until next week, take care of yourselves and one another.